Tinfoil hat. Oh, what the fuck are you guys even talking about?
Global controls will have to be imposed, and a world governing body will be created to enforce them.
Welcome to Tinfoil Hat. We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Are you ready to get your mind blown?
Good morning, Swarm, and welcome to Tinfoil Hat. You know I am. You know I'm here to do. I'm here to
Rock.
join me is Xavier Guerrero, and on the ones, twos, Jay Nice, Juicy Johnny, Johnny Woodard, Bang Bang Pow. Guys, we are live from the Wise Wolf adjacent studios. That's right. Go to SamTripoli.gold. Use the promo code Tinfoil and join the Wolf Pack. Precious metals sent right to your house for as little as $50 a month. Hedge your bets against the fiat craziness that's coming. Guys, if you want to see me live, go to SamTripoli.com. I'm going to be in Kansas City this whole weekend. That's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, the 18th through the 20th. And then on the 23rd, Bang Bang Pow. Comedy Cast, grab it while you can. Real quick before we get into it, I just want to stress you guys how important it is. If you're following me on Rockfin, I appreciate it. I'm going to put a couple I'm going to put an episode there every week. But if you really love my personal premium content, go to samtripoli.com. I have different things going on there. I'm putting on Johnny Cash Reads the Bible, Dangerous. You get nowhere. Those you don't get anywhere else. Deep Conspiracy Rewinds and AMAs. So go to samtripoli.com and check that out. Anything else, guys?
Hit that like button, subscribe.
Come hang out on Twitter at Johnny Woodard. Thank you.
Check out, dude. We got great. We're going to talk archaeology with Jimmy Corsetti, but it gets really deep into the deep state versus Trump. So let's get into it. All right, let's get into it. Very excited to have this guest on. I've been following him on Twitter. Some crazy stuff going on in the world of archaeology. Very excited to have him on. He's a researcher. He's a YouTuber. He's a 5-tool player. He does it all. He's got a great background. Stunning. So many books. Please welcome Jimmy Corsetti. How are you, Jimmy?
Dude, I'm doing excellent, Sam. I'm so glad to be connected. It's been a long time coming, and we got a lot to chat about.
So for real quick before we get into it, for our listeners who may not be familiar with you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where our listeners can find you?
You bet. So I have a YouTube channel and a Rumble channel called Bright Insight. I talk about the mysteries of lost ancient civilizations and various conspiracies. It's my conclusion through years of research that the true history of mankind was far older and far more advanced than we were taught in school. And I also have a lot of passion for current events. We're watching this world spiral out of control. And if there's one thing I've learned by studying history is that this is a rinse, cycle, repeat type situation. History is repeating itself. Tyrants are trying to take over, and we're living in history right now.
I couldn't agree more. We'll get into a little bit of that, but I was super excited to have you on because, timelines are really crazy with humanity right now. What year is it? What day is it actually is a giant debate. A lot of people talking about, are there 2,000 years missing? Are there 500 years missing? Whatever that number is, the Royals have constantly been trying to mess with us. And then, we've had guests on before, but one of my favorite discussions is like how the archaeology community doesn't want to change timelines at all, because then everything they've been talking about just becomes null and void. So where would you like to begin today on some of the topics that you've been discussing pretty passionately on Twitter?
Well, there's when it comes to archaeology and Twitter, one thing that the audience needs to be made aware of is that somehow they have been completely infiltrated with woke ideology. You can't talk about the mysteries of the pyramids without them accusing you of being a racist or an anti-Semite. And when it comes to like missing history, like you're talking about, a lot of people don't understand that the Gregorian calendar, which we operate on now, is barely 500 years old. It's completely possible that there's many years of missing history. And I think it was Louis C.K. That made the joke about BC versus AD, and that everything BC, oh, so that's -0. Those years don't count. It's stupid. It is so dumb, and
That's
I just
so
don't.
true. I never
Right?
even thought about that. Like, we don't even take those into account. You're like, those are technically years.
Yeah, and that reminds me. So as far as what we were taught, as far as when the years began, is approximately 6,000 years ago with the Sumerians out of ancient Mesopotamia and Iraq. But now with all these new discoveries, or at least in the last few decades, whether it's Göbekli Tepe that dates back 11,600 years old, that stands to rewrite history, because it's like that's not supposed to exist. There's this massive site in Turkey, which is 50 times larger than Stonehenge and almost 7,000 years older. It's a complete mystery. And, when it comes to the things I've been researching, it turns out that the World Economic Forum has infiltrated different parts of archaeology. There's some really, really bizarre stuff going on in that they're preventing excavation, or at least the CEO of the group that controls the site is a longtime member of the WEF. And there's some really interesting things there, because they've essentially put the dig on a standstill. Yes, there's still archaeology being taken place there, but they're saying that it's going to now be 150 years before they finish it up. They're going to save major excavations for future generations. Like, brother, there's so much stuff we could dive into. I don't even know where to begin.
It's so crazy that they would be that. We're going to let other people get the glory. We're going to allow them something to find. It's like almost like parents talking about their kids with like Easter egg hunts. We're going to leave a little bit for the kids to find. And as their point,
Yeah.
it makes no sense. That has all the same kind of vibe and feel of like, hey, dude, let's just seal these documents for 75 years before anybody really takes a look at like what really happened during this time or that time, or like, oh yeah, let's just seal the Seth Rich information forever so no one can really take a look at it. And so for me, it's like, why do they want to control these things? And again, it gets into something I've always said, that like, we have a lot of wonderful friends who've been on the show who are very much big names in the political talking head space. They're constantly debating politics, and we love and support them, and they're doing a great job, but we always kind of are waiting for them to get into the spiritual side of the discussion, because they really don't want, they're not going there for some reason. I have my opinions, all of it's love. But they don't want to go there. And I go, none of this really makes sense unless you look at it from a spiritual point of view. Yeah. And, their whole notion is that we are, that we aren't God's chosen people. We aren't special. We aren't special. They don't want us to know. They don't want us to know how special where we live is. And these resets that have happened over and over and over and over again. And they just want us to believe it's one tiny timeline that's only been, like you said, 6,000 years old. I believe it could be way more than that, based on a lot of these findings. And they just don't want us to know that God is constantly hitting a reset button against these fallen angels. What are your whole thoughts on why they are deceiving us so much?
Well, there's a few things there. One, I believe that we are living in a spiritual battle of good versus evil, and it's been this way from the beginning of mankind. And I would say that the number one reason why people would want to suppress that is simply that they don't believe it themselves. Granted, it could be way higher than that. There could be people in the know that generally believe that we're in a spiritual battle, but they don't want us to know because they don't want us to unite. Here's the thing. Good always triumphs over evil. It doesn't mean we don't get obliterated for a period of time and things look totally bleak, but I believe the arc of the universe favors good. And it seems that for some reason, humanity has to go through these cycles where there's good times, for an extended period of time, and then it gets worse and worse and worse and worse until it completely collapses on itself, and then there's a reset. And I think that's what happened to ancient human civilizations, whether it's cataclysms, whether we destroyed ourselves, whether we allow technology. Like, I have this weird feeling, and this might sound off the wall, but I almost wonder if the devil is technology, so to speak, that we essentially
AI. Yeah, we've talked about that. Like, not only are they maybe the devil, but they're Nephilim.
Yeah,
spirits.
What's to say that spirits and let's just say energies that we can't see, which we know exist. For example, we know like wavelengths. Like Wi-Fi in itself is proof that there's energies that exist that you can't see with, your own eyes, but it's there. Just like there's all this spectrum of light that exists, and we can, as humans, can only see like a microscopic level of it. But through technology, we know that there's all these levels of hertz, because light is measured through hertz, which is a frequency. So we know these things exist. So what's to say that there aren't beings or energies that are operating on a bandwidth that is incapable for our modern eyes and technology to pick up on? But there seems to be something there. And, with the whole thing that just happened with Trump on stage at that rally, that is, I don't know, man. That almost makes you wonder if there was something at play there, that maybe he's meant to be alive at this time to expose just how, I'm allowed to swear?
You can say whatever you want, brother.
Just how fucked up things are and how they're headed, because this is heading into a really, really bad situation for mankind.
So on a podcast that John and I do called Cash Days, it's our financial podcast, we were talking about how, dimensions, right? There's, if you talk to, if you study a lot of the ancient philosophies, there's different dimensions, higher vibrational, lower vibrational. Hollywood's constantly pushing out these interdimensional stuff like black matter. Is that what it's called? Or
dark matter. They claim
dark matter. Yeah. And then one of my favorite movies of all time, which is Anywhere, Everywhere, All at Once. That's a multiple. Is that not what's called, Johnny?
Everything, everywhere, all at once. Yeah.
Okay, everything, everywhere, all at once. About these multiple dimensions, and we were talking on the show about how like there's a dimension where Trump did not turn his head. There's a dimension where he kept looking forward, and what happened in that dimension, and it just must be chaos right now. And how lucky we are. Whatever happened, that he just turned his head for some unknown reason, and bang, he survived it. And to be honest with you, the way people are just kind of like still like, hey, yeah, man, I can't believe they tried to kill him. It's like there's a lot of stillness for something that should be, to me, a lot bigger event.
Even Trump is talking that way. Did you hear the leaked phone call where he called RFK to ask for his endorsement? I love that it's it's shot right over his shoulder. He's holding the phone out on speakerphone. That's a whole other thing.
Yeah, that's kind of snitchy, right? Too is that kind of snitchy?
Oh, of course
at the same time.
Of course it is. But I bet he told him. But Trump has got this interesting way of talking about it. He's like, yeah, it was an AR-15. That's a big gun, really big gun. Ah, wow. Just huge gun, and I'm like, what is he talking about?
It's wild. So what made him turn his head is that he was looking at the chart of the numbers of illegal immigrants that are pouring across the border. And here's what's wild about it is that, okay, there's like tens of thousands of children missing. It is a known fact that I think it's like 80% of the kids and women that are coming across in these caravans are being sexually assaulted, i.e. gang raped, like the most heinous thing you can imagine. And all these people that are dying in the process and all the chaos it's causing. But here's Trump, the guy that's exposing it, whereas the Biden administration, everyone in power now is like trying to just pretend it's not a thing. In fact, they're facilitating it. But what's weird about it is that because of all that mess that Trump is talking about, and then he looks at the chart on the screen, and that's what made him look. It's almost like a bizarre form of poetry where it's like something so bad saved his life.
Yeah, it's kind of it just really is crazy. I don't think anyone understands how close we were to a 9/11 type event.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's funny, people like Howie yesterday, after the show, Sam, after you left, I was telling him we're really, because you hear all these dipshits saying, but the ones that are serious. Now I'm not talking about like Kyle Gass, who's clearly, I think, joking. Say real dipshits though, like libs of TikTok has been all over this, wishing that he had been killed. I don't think. January 6th would be a joke, and it would pale in comparison to what would be happening right now if he had been killed. But can I just say too, Biden's fascination with that moment, I thought was really curious. Apparently, when that was the other thing that Trump was telling RFK was that Biden seemed really curious about what made him turn his head, and he's like, I didn't want to tell him that I was showing all the illegal immigrants he let in the country on the screen.
These people,
we can't hear you, XG. We can't hear you. I don't know what's going on with your thing, but
I
go
can't
on.
hear.
Sorry, Jimmy.
Well, I was just going to say that, all these people, all right, let's just say they don't like Trump. Like, I'm a big Trump supporter. He's not perfect. Nobody is, but like, I am all in on him. I love him. I would be his bodyguard if I could, to be honest. That might sound cheesy to some people, but like, I really believe in what he's doing. I believe
I'll tell you.
I'm only 5'10". They can't let me do it. You got to be.
Hey, dude, not according to the new rules, dude. You might be the tallest guy there.
Yeah. I swear, when I was in high school, I remember like they were doing this career thing and people were talking about the Secret Service, and someone, I don't remember if it's who I heard it from, but they were saying that I thought to guard POTUS, you have to be at least 6'2" or something like that, or at least you used to. Something, because you have to have mass. You have to be able to have this size, one, to catch a bullet, and two, if some former football player is going to come up and try and assault the president, you have to have the strength, in the mass to be able to stop them as like a barrier. I'm like, and so now they have these women that are like 5'3" probably.
Yeah.
But
the
what
running
matters
joke,
is that
it's the all female Ghostbusters. That's who they have defending. I mean, one looks like Melissa McCarthy, and like, to be honest,
There you go. Look, there are the qualifications, and the first person you see is a female.
yeah,
she's
it's
cute,
like
so we can let her in. She's cute, it's
crazy
fine.
to me. It's so crazy to me. It's so nuts to me that we are, again, this gets into what cultural Marxism is about. Yeah. It's about it wants you not to believe your eyes, your ears, or the wisdom of your experiences. And that's straight out of 1984. They are constantly trying to tell you what you see. And they used to get away with it when we didn't have the internet to kind of break down. They're like, what you just saw, you'd see it all the time after the debate. What you just saw was Joe Biden. And you'd be like, I just saw Joe Biden. And now because we have a counter to that, they don't have the spell anymore. And they're just trying. So, and again, it's all a giant demoralization campaign. All of this is a giant demoralization campaign. Johnny and I are kind of in a disagreement about what's going to happen moving forward. I think not only is Joe Biden going to drop out of the race and Kamala Harris is going to take his position, but I think he's going to step down as president. And because it would be demoralizing to the country that the first female president is a crazy cackling jackal.
You got less than 4 months is my thought. And now
that's why I think they'll do it.
It's a foregone conclusion. It's a foregone conclusion now, the race. As long as Donald Trump is alive at the finish line, he will win. I don't know why they would, unless they want to just burn Kamala.
Yeah, I mean,
get her out of the system, so they don't have to think about her
just
anymore. There's no other reason to put her up there.
Just get it. Okay, look, you became the first female president for the rest of your life.
Well, that part I could buy is that maybe
that's exactly what it is. And then
she becomes president.
You demoralize your base, which is all female feminists, and you go, look who is the first female president. A town bike who lies about her ethnic group, who locked up the most black people in the history of California, and whose ancestors were slave traders. That's demoralizing.
She kept innocent people. This has been confirmed. She knowingly kept innocent people on death row for political purposes. She delayed their release for being exonerated. This goes back a number of years. I don't know if you've heard about this before, but it is a fact. Think about what kind of person for political gain would keep an innocent person on death row. That is like so twisted. Like that is so inhumane. Like, and that's the kind of person she is.
Oh, don't forget, lock up people for weed, but then go on a hip hop show and talk about how smoking weed's cool. Trash.
No, you're totally right. And then her timeline doesn't work. Like, she's like, I was banging out Tupac in college. You're like, dude, you're too old for that. That the timeline doesn't match up. 100%. This is all demoralization. Everything is, and this is why I say get into the spiritual side of it. And there's just this crazy, the left is very interesting. I used to say I was culturally liberal, but now I'm culturally libertarian. Like, as long as you're not hurting people, and particularly children, I just can't let the government regulate every part of our life. I just can't do it. It's something I can't do. And I'm seeing people doing this right now on the internet. They're canceling people, and you can say whatever, And I'm a hypocrite. Someone called me out and I took an L on it on the internet. I said, yep, I'm taking an L on this. You're totally right. That's hypocritical of me. I've shown libs of TikTok content on my shows. But I also understand that libs of TikTok is totally fueling the divide and conquer of what's going on culturally by showing us content that we would never even know about. Yeah. Actually, like someone who's got like 25 followers, she's like, look at this green haired person saying this stuff. And now the right is totally okay with cancel culture. Like, and it was so funny because we called out Ben Shapiro forever about him hating cancel culture, then canceling Candace Owens. And now so many people on the right have become Ben Shapiro with canceling people. I'm just like, listen, you know how you heard a business, you don't go there anymore. But to call on them to fire somebody, dude, we've been fighting this for years with comedy, like people getting canceled forever. Do you have any thoughts on that? Am I being an idiot for saying that? Because I'm against cancel. Like the fact that what's his face from Tenacious D, Kyle, issued an apology and he got dropped by his agency. That's what I've been fighting the whole time. That shouldn't happen. That like, dude, if he wants to shut down his tour, that's one thing, but don't go see him. If that to me is the extent of what we should do. Am I wrong on this, guys? And tell me if I am.
I think you're right. I am really against cancel culture. I've had people try to cancel me for talking about the swastika being a prehistoric symbol found on 5 continents around the world. That I'm nothing to do with Hitler. I'm talking way before that.
Yeah,
people try to cancel
and you're totally right about that.
But at the same time, like I have mixed feelings on the libs of TikTok thing on this one, because I almost feel like, here's my thoughts. Like, I'm not in favor of these poor hourly wage people being termed, but at the same time, like, well, they'll find another job. And part of me is, let me just say it like this.
Will they?
I don't know.
I mean, they Google their name, right? Which is a big thing right now. Yeah. These, like that woman at Home Depot, I don't think what she said was right, but you've just annihilated that woman's life. Like, this woman is good luck getting a job at PetMart.
I didn't see that one, Sam. What is that? What was that?
So this woman at this woman at Home Depot who looks, I would say she was mid 50s, late 50s, or Midwest 40s, who knows? It is like, they missed the shot. I'm happy. Damn, why they missed along the lines of that. And lives to TikTok, who just must have a ton of people just scouring the internet looking for just people with no following saying crazy stuff. Found it, highlighted it, and Home Depot fired her. Blue Chew! Bah, 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 bah. That's right, Blue Chew, American company for American boners, for American women or men, whatever you're into. Let me tell you about Blue Chew. This episode is brought to you by Blue Chew. So let's talk about sex. Guys, remember the days when you were always ready to go? Do I? Let's go, bro. Now you can increase your performance and get extra confidence in bed. Listen up. Go to BlueChew.com. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, but in a chewable tablet. And for a fraction of the cost, you can chew it chew cheap. That's what we're talking about. Big boners, angry boners for cheap prices. Just on it. Okay. That's how we do it. You can take it anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever that opportunity arises. Right? Xavier Guerrero.
Yep. All the time. Ready right now.
Those EDM festivals, you just never know when you got to pop one when you're tripping balls off, having a good time. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. Bang, bang, pow. The best part is it's done online, so no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew tablets are made in the USA and prepared and shipped directly to your door in a discreet package or with fireworks like I like it, okay? I want fireworks. I want to be dropped off by a bald eagle that has a sound that says, Daddy's going to Pound Town. Thank you, Blue Chew. Bang, bang, pow. That's right. So listen, dude, I'm going to personally endorse this, dude. There's no time my boner is more getting too tight than tough than when I take Blue Chew, right? Xavier, how about you? Do you have rock hard boners, bro?
Right now, I'm gonna have some on the tour, right next to
in
you on
between
the
shows,
airport. Yes.
XG does
No.
rails of Blue Chew, bro. He loves
No.
it. So, guys, here's what we need you to do. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your own options at bluechew.com. Chew it and do it. And we got a special deal for our listeners. Bang, bro. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code tinfoil checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's bluechew.com, promo code tinfoil to receive your first month free. Visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this podcast. Angry Boners.
Here's a thought though, just to add in, because I know it's I agree with you. But part of me, and I have more of like a warlike mentality, I could be a little ruthless. And part of me is thinking like this guy, this crook, what's his first name? Whatever Crooks, this loser that tried to shoot Trump. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, so that guy's a total loser. And he was probably inspired by seeing things online. And he probably thought to himself, I'm going to be a hero when I do this. I'll die trying, but I'm going to be a hero. And part of me thinks that we are already at war at some level. And if these people aren't exposed for saying what they're saying, it could literally fuel the next loser to be like, I'm going to do what Mr. Crooks couldn't do. And so maybe if everyone sees that, if you are going to spout this heinous rhetoric about supporting the shooting of President Trump, maybe like, I mean, where's the line? Like at what level do people have to see that like this should be condemned? Like, I don't know, because I'm anti-cancel culture, but part of me is so mad at these motherfuckers
I totally get it. And like the wishing death on somebody, okay, is like being sad somebody didn't die is disgusting. I'm totally with you on that. And I would push back on anyone who says that people were celebrating George Floyd's death. I don't think they were celebrating George Floyd's death. I think what everyone was saying is about how he really died according to the coroner's report. So that's it. Like, it's like he's, the big lady who's been on the UFC. I'm going to butcher his name, but she has constantly said that, and I'm sorry to her because I love her very much, that he ate drugs like 3 times before that. So here's the only thing, and this is just us discussing this, is that the whole notion is that if we don't start canceling these people, that we're going to have a follow-up. But my question to you and to anybody listening is, do you think this is authentic enough to think that somebody could just do this on their own, that there isn't this MK Ultra thing involved, whether it's frequency waves triggering something based on what they're watching on television and the pharmaceuticals they're on? I mean, this guy's parents, one of them was a guidance counselor, I think.
Social worker and a therapy worker, something like that. Yeah.
So there's no way there wasn't pharmaceuticals involved in this. And what we're seeing, Johnny, and you can push back if you.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah. And like, so they just hit the 5G, bang, they send out the frequency and somebody gets triggered to go do this. This is how it can be super random. And they know about these guys based on data. They're always following data. They're looking for talking points. So when they have to trigger somebody, they know they have a pool of people. And if you look at the guy who did the Parkland shooting, he was part of a very controversial youth program. So they already knew this guy was out there. This guy shows all the characteristics of what we're doing. So now the big thing, we've had people on before, John Cullen, I believe is his name. And by the way, it's Miriam. I'm gonna mess up her last name, the B lady, but
Hanane, yeah. Hanane.
How do you pronounce her?
Hanane, right? I think
Hanane, Miriam Hanane. I apologize because I do love her so much. I can't say names, but John Cullen's been on before, and he's breaking it down right now that there were multiple shooters. And he's got video of a shot coming from the side and hitting the guy that they're bringing down from the stands. And by the way they're carrying these people are just like really insane to me, They're just gotta grab like their body bags and carry them down. I know.
Yeah. Now, have you seen though the videos of that all in context? Them pulling those people out of there, because I mean, I don't doubt anything about that now. Like I've seen the
No.
like
I'm
cell
not
phone footage.
I'm not saying it's not real. I'm just saying it's very weird how they carried
It
them
was,
out.
yeah, but I just think they were just all their brains were like, "What the fuck is happening?" And I think that might have been the guy that was obviously dead, if I'm not mistaken, because they were all like, "He's shot in the head." Come on, please. So
I will say, so I was in the military and we did training where we would carry people out. And I will say this, because I know the video you're talking about, Sam, and I saw them carrying them down sloppily off the bleachers. And when I first saw that video at the time, I thought that was the shooter because they were carrying him like he was a piece of garbage. But I will say this, when you're carrying somebody who's lifeless, they're so, especially if this guy is 160, 200 pounds, whatever, and they're climbing down bleachers, and they're probably already having an adrenaline dump. So like your legs can get really heavy. And so it may have just been a matter of like, physical exertion to where it's like they're just doing the best they could to get him, down, I don't know. It's tough carrying a life. I've never carried a lifeless body.
No, I understand what you're saying. I understand.
It's exhausting, especially with bleachers. My legs, I couldn't, it's physical exhaustion.
I'm completely with you on that. And the second shooter. And then the final thing, because I really do want to get into this archaeology stuff, is that there now is looking like, and our normie friend send this to us. Our normie friend Howie Dewey from Cash Daddies sent us that once again there was Wall Street action that seems specific to Trump and things around Trump, which is very much similar to what we see on 9/11 and October 7th. So, do you guys have any thoughts on that? Have you seen that story, Johnny? Can you?
I have. Yeah, sure. I have it right here. And they, you bring up the one about on 9/11, and they tried to dismiss that. Oh, it's just a huge coincidence that these massive money I mean, I think they were calls on or puts on 9/11 on some major airlines, I think maybe.
Yes.
And they I mean, just soared after that, and they did a full investigation of that, which was widely reported at the time. It was reported in mainstream news, and it was just completely dismissed, which I've never understood that. I'm pulling it up right now.
I can't believe that the investigators didn't find that the super rich people were guilty of some shady shit. That's right. Unbelievable.
Hold on, I might have to turn on audio sharing just a second.
Actually, no,
you don't have to do that anymore. So
while you bring that up, let me just make this one little point, which is that, guys, if there's any evidence that this is a conspiracy, we'll follow the money, we'll figure it out. But the fact that we now have confirmation that the Secret Service knew there was a man with a gun on a roof and left Trump on stage for many minutes, maybe even
like
more than
30
a half
minutes
hour.
now.
Yes, guys, it is protocol that you take the person, whoever you're protecting, you take that asset off stage. That is normal protocol, and they didn't. That makes my conspiracy wheels go through the roof, because I'm like, guys, this is who had the command, who had tactical command of that operation on that day on site. That right there, I'm like that.
Well, you're seeing it on. You're seeing people say that on. I mean, like Fox. I saw someone on CNN suggesting that pretty strongly, which is. I mean, I don't know what that means really. That's on cable TV. It's like, oh shit.
I mean,
they're not gonna be able to cover this one up, guys. This one's gonna follow them. Sorry,
wasn't that roof really slanted?
Yeah.
Not terribly. No.
Guys,
are you being sarcastic? I got the thing up. I can't see.
That was Mexican sarcasm right there.
Guys, that roof was less slanted than the roof with the snipers that did take the kill shots.
Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah.
It's like, this is there, guys. The proof is in the cover up. It always is. This will sound cheesy, but in my prior career, I was a retail fraud investigator. Not a big deal, but the one thing they teach is that it's always in the cover up. When people are not being transparent, when they're not answering questions directly, that right there screams. It's always indicators.
100%.
Yep.
100%.
Yeah, and now they're saying that there were people in that building, which is
dude, that's we'll get into that right after that. This is the craziest thing.
All right, here
group. Take a look at this, folks, because there was just normal activity in the stock. By normal, I mean You can see on the screen there total volumes traded. If you go back to the 12th, 7/12, the third one down as you look at your screen there, you see that it traded 4.3 million shares. It's not really out of line versus any of the other volumes you might see. Provided, by the way, Buy-ins Net. They provided me with this basically.
We should say this is the DJT ticker. So it's the Donald Trump whatever that.
What is that? True Social? Is that what they're talking about?
What is it? No, it's
or is it?
I think it's Trump companies.
Yeah.
Trump Media and something like
and this is
technology group.
Rebels Edge. This is their content. I want to give them this is their video, so they get a lot of respect on that. So here we go. Play it again.
Showing me where they thought short squeezes would be and so forth. What's interesting, I thought, Alex, was that just ahead of rally in Pennsylvania, Western Pennsylvania, former President Trump was nearly assassinated. It came pretty darn close to that. We had double the call volume of the previous sessions. So the stock volume, very normal, as you can see. Again, you see a whole bunch of 4 million share trades, some 5 million, 6 million, even 9 million. So none of that was extraordinary on Friday last week. But the call action and perhaps the selling of calls might be a bit of a tip-off. We've got to dive deeper, but thus far, we're looking at some pretty interesting statistical evidence that at least somebody was placing a pretty big bet into that Pennsylvania rally. Now, we don't.
What's very weird is they didn't look at the next day on that chart that quadrupled.
Well, I think that might have been after the shooting, Sam.
Okay.
Shooting was on the 13th, I think. Yeah.
Okay, that's super.
Yeah, shooting was over the weekend, so that's the 15th. That's when the markets open on the Monday. Yeah.
And it's crazy to me, this notion that he was in on it. And I know there's some super black-pilled people that were like, oh my God, you're falling for this.
There are a lot of those, yeah.
I'm open-minded to everything. I don't think I have any kind of corner on anything, but this to me is like, for somebody to put that kind of faith into somebody else just nipping your ear and not even hitting anything else. Come on, dude.
Well, a lot of them think that wound is not real. They think it was some kind of like a squib or, like a micro squib. I don't, or like you saw that actress, Amanda Seales, I think it was, who was on some of these dumb, HBO shows, saying that she thought it was one of those, those little blood capsules that they use in Hollywood, that he bit down on when he went down. So most people are not even saying there's gunfire.
Yeah, but then what about those the firemen? You're gonna fake that? You're gonna fake that?
No. I saw like Top Lobster, our friend, saying that he thinks it's a fake, but he I often say, he thinks that they killed the civilians because, and I say this a lot, they don't give a shit about civilians.
They don't give a shit, dude. They don't care.
The thing is that when you go down, because I'm a total conspiracy theorist and I question everything, but I think that some people go so far down the rabbit hole that they forget that real life happens in real life, and not everything is conspiracy. And for this, I'm certain that this was not staged. Granted, I wasn't there. I'm Jimmy, the YouTuber, but I'm my perception of this is no way. They tried to kill him and it almost happened. And by whether it's a miracle or just freak coincidence or whatever it is, it didn't work out. But this one, I'm nah, this isn't staged. I don't think so. Not for a second.
And we have a history of people trying to take out presidents. Yeah. There's a history of that. And there's a history of this particular, let's face it, Democratic Party as it is, doing everything and anything to destroy the other side's chances of winning, which, you can get into what is real, a uniparty, all this stuff, who they support, who they don't support. Do they all support the same thing? That is to a point, but something is real in this war between the Democrats and Republicans, in even if it's just who controls the purse strings and who controls giving out the contracts, it must be real. And even though listen, the prophet Eddie Bravo says this all the time. If voting isn't real, if voting doesn't matter, why are they working so hard to rig it so blatantly? Is it that they need us to participate in the theater to keep the theater going? I don't know what it is, but he's totally right with the way that they are willing to absolutely destroy the process of voting to win. It seems like a lot of effort for theater.
I agree. I think that what's happening is that because he'd have so many other cards they could play. I think that we're just witnessing the fact that back in the day, before the whole social media game and the alternative people on YouTube and elsewhere in the podcasts, they could just control the narrative and feed us two candidates on mainstream TV and be like, these are who you have to choose from. And they could rig it from there. But now things have changed. And tying back into what they tried to do to Trump, now we have everyone under the sun researching this, whether it's following the money, whether it's asking questions about the slope on the roof, whether it's asking questions about who had tactical command, whether there was a stand down. I think that they have gotten ahead of themselves. Times have changed, and now they're trying to adapt. And I think we're just looking at real life. I think that, they wouldn't go to this whole charade. I think that our votes do matter, and they've had ways of manipulating votes in the past, whether through mainstream propaganda, voting machines, mail-in ballots, and all that crap. But right now, just like we were saying earlier, it is so obvious that Donald Trump has this sealed, and it makes me wonder. And if you guys want to go down this rabbit hole, maybe they have a curveball coming because now they know Biden can't win. I don't believe for a second Kamala Harris can win. So it's like, to what extent are they going to go to try to steal this thing? Because it seems to me that they are willing to die before the powers that be let Trump get in, because he's going to take them all out once he gets office. That's what I want to believe, is that he'll crack down. There'll be investigations. They'll maybe militarize the situation. Because people have committed treason and sedition and God knows whatever else. I don't know.
Sounds familiar. I mean, I'll say it reminds me a lot of the last time he was in office.
Yeah, go on. Sorry, John.
No, I mean that's it. That's it, really. I mean, those sentiments. I hope those things happen too. But
hey, guys, real quick, I want to tell you about our friends at Arena Club. Listen, one of my favorite card collecting memories as a kid were those trading card binders that everyone had. It was like a whole playground marketplace, displaying cards and judging each other's collections. I used to love it, dude. The Holy Grail was so Ken Griffey Jr. That's all everybody wanted was Ken Griffey Jr. Collecting has come a long way since, but now there's a new way to buy, sell, and trade cards. It's called Arena Club. Whether you're buying, selling, or trading or displaying, Arena Club is the all-in-one trading card platform. So here's what you have to do. You have to sign up for an account at arenaclub.com/tinfoil. Okay. Johnny, I know you've already struck gold on this, right?
Oh, dude, yeah, I go for their slab packs all the time. I loved it. I'm borderline obsessed with this website. I hit on a huge Trout card, Mike Trout. That's probably worth $1,000. And then just the other day, another one, an autographed Jackson Holiday from the Orioles card. That's probably worth like $600 or something like that. So yeah,
Johnny's killing it.
Great website. Yeah, love it.
Okay, it's a great website, a new way to grade, collect, sell, and trade cards. Okay, it's converting physical to digital. Listen, no more shipping delays or cards lost in transit. Arena Club uses blockchain technology to deliver your cards immediately. Okay, the Arena Club grading process combines AI and human grading. It's accurate, fast, transparent, with a full grade, rational, provided an explanation of how your card is scored. Make offers, send trades, interact. It's really great. So here's what I need you to do right now. Right now, you can get 10% off your first purchase by going to arenaclub.com/tinfoil. That's arena, ARENA club.com/tinfoil for 10% off your first purchase. And it's like, we could also study history and see what happens when, let's just play this game that the black pills want to play. And I'm not saying it's totally wrong, but we're going to play this game that Trump is completely controlled opposition, right? Let's just say that, it was completely manufactured, him getting it, right? Have we ever seen this before? The answer is yes. We've seen leaders who are obviously puppets of intelligence agencies, CIA, Mossad, whoever it is. We'll go through all these people. They're puppets. And we have seen a moment where the puppet's like, I'm a real boy, right? And they become, suddenly they want to do their own thing. They want to run their own country. They get to a point where they have so much money and power that they're like, I actually want to run this country and do right. And we see people get taken out, right? That's kind of what we've seen. Saddam Hussein, stuff with Iran where we installed our guy and then that didn't go well for us, right? And even Putin had that. Yeltsin, I say this all the time, Yeltsin had to ask the Clintons if it was okay for Putin to run. And they said, yeah. And then he had to stage the Chechen slaughter in the theater to get voted in because he was polling so low. So, and now but like, Putin's all part of it. Is he part of this group that is pushing back against this banking cabal? I mean, could we see a part where Trump goes, hold on, they've done all this crazy stuff, and I'm just asking questions right here. So they've done all this crazy stuff to me. They tried to throw me in jail. They've hit me with false lawsuits. Now they tried to assassinate me. Now I'm going to play a little different. Now things are different. Is there any chance we could see that? Do you guys think at all, where the puppet thinks it's a real boy? If that's what it was.
I don't know. I've thought about that. I've also had a darker thought that maybe he goes a step further, and thinks like, okay, maybe we go after the Second Amendment now, because he's not somebody who's
that
been,
is a concern.
He's had those thoughts in the past. We know that.
I think if he would be going to that, he'd be hating on the way he's acting about getting shot. Doesn't seem like he's going to go after the Second Amendment. He'd be way more upset. If that was Biden, he'd be like, "Oh, dude,
he'd be a fool to reveal any of that before he's elected." But yeah, I get what you're saying. But we haven't seen a ton of private moments with him to see how he's really reacting. But yeah, I just don't know, man. It is, people are right in saying that he's had a strange. Can we just go back to that moment for a second and say, like, that reaction he had was badass. It was one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life. It was unusual. It was strange. You know what I mean? It does have. It's
allowed to happen because he's got
dramatic
Oompas around him, and it's like they can't hold him down. So
yeah, but he just almost got his head blown off. Probably knows it and is like down there like, my shoes. I need get my shoes, please. That's unusual. Sam, I will say, possibly heroic, but. Strange.
Sam, you've been around. Were you at the Comedy Store when the shooting happened? You go down instantly. Like, even if it's not on you,
Sam doesn't go down instantly.
You go. Huh?
I don't go down. I go. I get the fight eyes, and I start staring.
So you would act like Trump. You would have started fist pumping your way out of there.
It's crazy, but yeah, dude, it's an interesting thing, and leading in to this RNC, which has been like somewhat a little bizarre so far.
Yeah.
It's like, I was talking about this on a Conspiracy Social Club, but it's like, I think the Republicans think they have a real chance at getting the black vote, that they bring out Amber Heard and her fat black ass.
Amber
Rhodes. Yeah. They bring her out to try to
face
get
tattoo.
Her. Yeah. They're like, dude, hey, look, we're black too. Come on, hang out. We got this hot stripper here that we all love. Come on. And it's just been a really bizarre convention. You have Hindus doing prayers. It's like Jimmy, do you have any thoughts at all on it?
It's a little bit. So a lot of people were talking about when Trump was coming out, he seemed off or whatever. And I'm like, he probably doesn't want to be there, because think about, so many people of the swamp are in that building. It's a charade. I don't know. The whole RNC thing, to me, I'm like, these are the same people that were opposed to Trump. They're the same. In my mind, I don't know if you guys agree or not, I'm convinced 2020 was stolen, and so many people left him out to dry and they're some of those same people in that building pretended that didn't happen. And if I'm him, imagine if you're Trump and you know it was stolen, and let's just say Trump's the real deal, that what you saw was a real hero, and that like he does have that fortitude to look death in the face and stare it straight down. Because there's some people that are known in history to have been like that. They're, so let's just say he's the real deal. And if you're him and you know you're going to walk into that snake pit where half those people are pieces of shit that did you wrong just a few years earlier, and he has to go through this whole charade again when he knows it was stolen from him in the first place and they didn't have his back, I wouldn't want to be there. I'd be walking in there thinking like half these people are full of shit. Like, I don't know. It's a weird vibe in that building, because now they're pretending to just, be all in on him. And I'm like,
one of the most full of shit, though, is the guy he just made his, vice presidential run.
Yeah, what are your guys' thoughts on Vance? I mean,
he compared him to Hitler.
Yo, well, it's crazy that I'm way older than the VP nomination. That to me is like such a weird thing to me. I'm the oldest guy here, but
Think he did that on purpose? You think he did it to make it seem like, oh, look, we got someone young in there?
It's possible, but I mean, like that guy did shit on Trump, but he's also like, outside of his view on Israel, and that's you're always going to have somebody have that, but unfortunately, but he seems to be a more of an isolationist, which is like, I think Trump is somewhat leaning towards, which I'm all for.
Yeah. I mean, the reaction so I actually didn't know anything about JD Vance until he was picked. I didn't know anything about him. I had to go digging as soon as it was announced, and I was mortified to see he was a never Trumper. I'm like, are you serious? I'm trusting this guy's judgment. And now he's, it's come out. He's like, no, my mind just changed over the years. I figured out that I was incorrect. I'm like, okay, that's possible. Good for him. We welcome change of mind, right?
I agree, dude, with that.
But it's like, I do wonder how he didn't know the first time around. But then I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, well, all the motherfuckers that I don't like were so opposed to him and doing hit pieces on him in the days before it was announced. And I want to believe that behind the scenes, I want to trust Trump's instincts. He was wrong the first time. He got totally betrayed. Like, I don't know why he chose Pence in the first place. I was like, what? But, I want to believe that behind the scenes, this guy's a good guy. I guess we'll see. We're not going to know until we know, right? Well, it's going to take time. I just want to believe that all of this is happening for a reason, and it's all going to be for the greater good. I don't know yet.
It is interesting. His pick. I mean, it's very weird. The vice president pick is either just a ceremonial like goofball or just Darth Vader, right? That seems to be it. There's no middle ground, right? It's Dan Quayle, it's Camille Harris, or it's Dick Cheney, George Bush Jr. It's like one or the other. There's no gray area between it. So we'll see which one he is. I mean, like, yeah, people make mistakes. That's even the thing about Amber Heard. I mean, excuse me, Amber Rose. Like, she was very like, there's a lot of things about her in the past, and let's see if maybe people grow and change, and are different people. And I always feel like you should give people room to admit they're wrong and change their ways. Now, here's an interesting thing that was brought up on the Union of the Unwanted, which was that how much that moment of getting shot and the fight fits a cue drop. The exact amount of times that Trump says fight is the exact amount of times that this cue drop says it. It's Johnny, don't flutter your eyes. These are called facts.
How long ago was that, Sam? How long ago was that?
2018.
Yeah, okay.
I know, but you don't think that's weird?
No, not at all. You know how many cue drops there were?
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so Johnny also doesn't think it's weird that you could put any number in to Google with
any number. That's the key that you just said there. Any
number into Google about COVID cases, and an article will come up with
the biggest news story since 9/11. There are infinite number of news stories from all around the world, every little city.
Every number, though, Johnny. Every number.
Well, really, I mean, you think about it, you're only dealing really with like 1 to 100.
1,000 numbers. 1,000, right?
1,000 on the end of that.
I mean, it's crazy to me. But that to me seems very nuts, Jimmy.
Well, no, but the people who
Unless-
present that, though, you presented that kind of like backwards, right? Because you present it the way I normally present it. Most people will come in here and say, if you use the number 77, you'll see that there were 77 COVID cases, and they'll just show a litany of, this thing. But my point always is, yeah, but you can do that with 88 and 33 and an infinite number.
Oh,
well, not an
33,
infinite
Johnny.
number,
Why'd you pick that number?
You know why I picked it. Obviously, I'm just saying. All the conspiracy numbers show up places, and all the non-conspiracy numbers. So, come at me with something else.
Well, wait up. So here's my question: what if they would have succeeded? Do you think it would have Civil War, World War III? Well, I mean World War.
Well, that's
I,
what we were just saying a minute ago. Yeah, this place would be burning. Yeah.
Like instantly, like instantly. You don't think there'd be an election? Who'd be running? No election. It's over.
It would be in my humble opinion, it would be pure 100% chaos. And to be honest with you, I don't think they're done trying. I think they took the first shot, and I think they're gonna. I mean, like Alex Jones is just going nuts about this right now. He's listing all the different ways they could try to do it. Poison, bombs. Like, dude, I don't.
They try. I mean, but it sounds like explosives were involved in this. They were meant to be in this situation, right? As like a distraction, some kind of diversion. They were in his car. That's what they're saying now.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Does that do the thing they want to do though, Sam? Like poisoning him, or he just has a one of those Israel phantom heart attacks,
Yeah. Like the George Bush in Japan, like me no feel good.
Yeah. Where he's just like,
what's funny? I mean, not as funny, but he's at the age where if that kind of happened, you really couldn't really question it. You'd be like,
well, that would be the best scenario for them. Jimmy, do you have any thoughts on this?
I'm kind of with Alex Jones. I think that the powers that be do not want Trump, and they're willing to go at all costs, because I think that the powers that be are so guilty of so many crimes that if he gets in, their life is over. Best case scenario, they spend the rest of their lives in prison, many people, for treason, sedition. And I think that because of that, at this point, they're so all in that they'll stop at nothing to stop him. And that's what I fear, is that I think that they would destroy this country and the economy, whether it's World War III, whether it's a grid down scenario to cause total civil instability and chaos, all to stop a fair election from happening. I am nervous, guys. Like, I think that it's only going to get more crazy from here on out. And if I was Trump, he needs to be like the Pope and surround himself by glass at all times. You know what I'm talking about? Like in a bubble. He needs to stop doing the rallies. Although I respect him for doing it, because my arrogant ass would probably go do it too, but like, they're not stopping me either. But I'm like, he needs to like take profound measures. He should probably just go stay at Mar-a-Lago until the election, honestly, like, because he already has it in the bag. He's going to win, and his whole base will support it. He doesn't have to go to another rally. Really, like, him going to another rally. Is him going to another rally going to like persuade a voter? But like, well, I do like what he said at this rally, so I think I will vote for him. No, those days it's already a line in the sand. People already know what they're going to vote. We can have the vote tomorrow.
Inside. Stay inside. Did Kennedy teach you nothing? Inside.
Get in a bunker, dude, and just do Zoom rallies, dude.
And have his sons go out and get this food. Yeah, Zoom rallies, and have his son or whoever go get him food randomly, some grocery store, mix it up, like just feed yourself, eat top ramen for the next 4 months if you have to. You just got to make it to November. Like, don't be eating out at restaurants.
I completely agree with you. There is no he has it sewn up. And again, the only way it doesn't happen is if they full on rig it again. 100%. I mean, dude, you have laws being passed right now. Like, I don't understand how the state of Michigan, which is blue collar to the bone, okay, and they've been somehow tricked into being being Democratic, okay, which I understand unions versus like the head of corporate. I can understand that. But when you have a party that has pushed jobs overseas through free trade, why would you vote for that? I just don't understand it. But the fact that Whitmore, or whatever her name is okay with, she just signed a bill that made it illegal in the state of Michigan to investigate whether an election was stolen. Why would anyone not think that's the most obvious sign of guilt possible.
They're brazen now. It's absolutely brazen. They're going to try to steal it. They have to. And what I'm learning about is, so here's the thing, like when it comes to like that Amber Rose girl, it's fully supportive. To be honest, I had never even heard of her before, which is crazy. I'm like, she got like 24 million Instagram followers. I literally had never seen or heard of her before.
Our algorithms are different.
Right? Yeah, it's kind of wild. Like you come across people who have millions of followers you never heard before. And it's like, but here's where I stand. I'm like, we need as many people as possible to support Trump on this. So that way, if he doesn't win on November, that way everyone will know. It's one thing for me to know they stole 2020, but not enough people believe or know that. But this needs to be so unbelievably apparent that like something happens from it, that if they try to steal in November, that way the masses won't allow it to happen, whatever that means. And so that's what makes me think that the powers that be are going to try to pull something, a curveball out of left field to try to do something to stop it. Because at this point, it is so abundantly clear that he's going to win. They can't bring out Michelle Obama to try to save the day. She has no shot either. So that's what makes me fearful. They're going to turn off our lights. They're going to do like a terrorist. I don't even want to put this out into the universe, but could you imagine if in most states around the country on election day, as soon as the polls open, you get some lunatics with guns that had crossed the border to do an active shooter type situation. They shut down the polls. Like, what would happen from there? Like, if that happened, what would happen?
Dude, it's so crazy because I think that's 100% on the table with these immigration riots. We've been talking about them for a while now on the show, for actually like a year or two. And I think and I thought it was going to be at the end of August, you're going to start seeing the real chaos. Obviously, like they're just like, we got to do it right now. Like in mid-July, let's go. But I think you're going to see they're going to turn the tap off on the flow of money to these illegals. And then people are going to be really shocked when just vans full of guns just show up all around where these immigrants are, and suddenly these people that have no money or no food or no job suddenly have guns, and that's what they want to do. Now, the only thing we talked about this on the show a lot is that if they can somehow get us into World War III and send all of our fighting age men over there to fight there's nobody here. Thank God we have a lot of ex-military here that seem to still be ready to rock, but I think what you're saying right now is completely and utterly on the table, man. And I just wish people, like, going back to the people getting fired for saying that stuff. Again, I don't agree with what they said. I just say once you're okay with a rule being applied to people you don't like, it will come around and F you in your B, dude. I'm telling you right now, it's going to happen. Okay? If you're okay with these people, this being done to people you don't like, it will eventually be done to you. But what I can't understand is how people, no matter what side of the political spectrum you are on, are okay with the deep state trying to take out our elected official. I cannot believe that they're okay with this. And I don't know where you stand on Israel, and I don't want to get too deep into that, but people are okay with AIPAC completely of affecting our elections and getting every guy in at 100%. Like, that to me is insanity that anybody is okay with that, even regardless of your view on Israel. The fact that you're okay with Israel basically treating us like how we treat Latin America and how Europe treats Africa. It really is crazy to me. And I think we should be the masters of our own domain. If we want to work with Israel, if that's fine. But we should be the master of our own domain. That's my opinion.
We're their pay pig, Sam. What'd you say? We're their pay pig, yeah.
We're their pay pig. Yeah, go on, Jimmy. Sorry.
Little Broken Sun reference here.
I am totally with you. And I want to just to touch on something you had said a minute ago about, like, we were expecting an October surprise, August, September, October. But then this happens in July. So this just say for a second that they had been successful at taking out Trump. Well, it happened 2 days before the convention when Trump hadn't even picked a VP yet. So let's just say that they had been successful in taking him out. What was their plan? They obviously had somebody to come in, what would they have done? This was the chance, I think, for the deep state to do the little last second takeover, because they'll throw in Nikki Haley, because they still had votes, right? Like,
that's
right?
completely it. That was completely it. That was the plan. She's the only other one with delegates.
Right. I think that was their plan. They obviously had a plan. It didn't work out. And then just think about it. Let's just say, okay, everything's in chaos. They just killed Trump, God forbid. But let's just say that we're all depressed, civil instability, whatever. But things are still going to move forward. The powers that be are going to rush her ass through. And what would we do? Yeah, I'm mad. I'm not voting for Nikki Haley. Now what? It's not going to stop her.
No,
yeah, dude.
I think that's where the violence happens. I think that's where the violence happens. And then she comes
out and is like, just days before, she's like, I'm giving Trump all of my delegates. You're like, wow, that's kind of convenient timing right there. Like, just right before, even though it doesn't matter what you do with your delegates because nobody cares at that point.
Yeah, all 5 of them. Good job. Wow.
Yeah, but it's super interesting. She says that right before there. And just know that's the woman who's signing bombs. Okay, signing bombs, finish the job, all that stuff. Actually, you had something to say?
No, I was just saying, if they would have killed Trump, I think the Republican Party would have voted for anybody they would have put up there, and I think they would have still had a chance because they would have been so pissed. A lot of people would have been like, "Yo, they just went after Trump." I think it still would have been a fight, but it would have.
I don't know about that.
No,
I don't know about. No, I mean, do you think the MAGA people are going to line up behind Nikki Haley? And
go after MAGA. They can't
sweep
go
her.
I have a lot more faith in the right to dispose of dead carcasses than I do the left. They never get rid of anybody. I mean, what Hillary Clinton did to the Democratic Party, she should be excommunicated, but they still love her because their whole thing is about open-minded, even though it's so funny. Like, if we get Trump in, he's going to do this, and this. Oh, you mean exactly what Joe Biden's doing? They're going to resort to violence and payback. Oh, you mean just like Antifa and BLM did? Like, where are the Republicans where are the conservatives that went effing nuts on everybody and committed violence? It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. The only time they show up is when they need adults, like in Wisconsin. When they're terrorizing, and those guys all went down with guns to protect Indian car dealerships, right? I mean, like, how white supremacist is that? How white supremacist are you when you're shooting a white pedophile who just dropped the N-bomb? That's who the left is getting behind. It's so crazy to me. It's so crazy to me, but they want us all to fight with each other. This is all part of their whole thing. So, Jimmy, we've had you for an hour. I know you can't go much longer. Is there anything you wanted to finish up on about archaeology?
I wish we could go longer. So I have to run because I'm picking up. I just signed a new lease, a new house I'm going to rent. So I'm picking up keys at 2 p.m. Yeah,
Respect.
I'm moving next week, which sucks. But guys, let's do this again because we didn't even touch on all the wild stuff in archaeology. But it doesn't feel like, who wants to hear about archaeological corruption when all of this is happening now? Like, we have time to come back and do this again. So, dude, you guys are great. I had a lot of fun. I say we do this again here in a few weeks or whenever you guys are available.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, Jimmy. Take care. One more time, tell them where they can find you.
Follow me, Bright Insight on YouTube and Rumble, and follow me on X. I'm growing my presence there. Jimmy Corsetti, Bright Insight 6. And, let's definitely do this again. Yeah, there I am. All kinds of wild stuff. To anyone that's not familiar with the mysteries of the ancients, give my page a look and there's definitive evidence that shows that what we were taught in school about how old and advanced we were is far from the truth. And it raises all kinds of questions from a spiritual nature, religious nature. It makes you wonder what happened here on Earth. Yeah.
Final question. Do you think that some of these wars are to get rid of evidence of hidden history?
Brother, that's totally possible. I have no doubt that history has been hidden, but it could be negligence. There's a lot of dumb people out there, but I have questions about a lot of the places we've invaded. That's a deep one. Would have to go into it next time, but honestly, I do believe that the powers that be understand that ancient human civilizations were more advanced than what we were taught, and the implications behind that are actually profound. Because, I mean, hey, let me just, if you want to wrap up with the mind fuck, Hitler was obsessed with archaeology. Never mind his Aryan bullshit with the blonde hair, blue eye thing. Put that aside for a second. But he actually, this is documented history. He was looking for the Ark of the Covenant, the Holy Grail, Thor's hammer. He was sending his people down to Africa to look for evidence of giants. Like, a lot of people don't understand that the Indiana Jones movies are actually based on very, very loosely based on historical events, in that he did actually pursue archaeology to a profound extent. And I want to know why. I want to know what he knew, because again, the swastika was found on 5 continents around the world dating back 10,000 years. And so it raises questions like, did he know something about our past that we are not aware of? It's a real question, and it's very sincere.
All right, Jimmy, we'll have you back. We'll make it happen. We'll definitely get into it next time. Thanks so much, buddy.
You guys are wonderful. Thank you so much for your time.
Take care, man.
See you, man.
Bye now.
It's a pleasure.
Take it easy.
I loved having him on, but dude, all that stuff is like what I wanted to talk about, and it would have been so great. Yeah,
he's right though. You got to talk about the news of the day, especially if you're going to put it in the title of the episode. You know, people are going to be like, "Where's the Trump talk?"
Yeah, I'm with you, dude. I'm with you. So yeah, man, it's interesting. It's hard to know where. It's always fun when you have a guest on that's fully into the conspiracy world, and you don't have to slow road stuff out.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I know we're going to get shit from people going, Trump is a part of this. You got to know that. And I'm like, I'm not saying he's not, but this just seems really interesting. And, and I just, when it gets into the like squib with JFK and stuff like that, it's hard for me to get real behind all of that. I don't know. It just seems.
Can I ask you this?
Let me just say, it seems a lot harder to fake it than to just take out one guy.
Okay. If this had happened to Joe Biden right now, would you, the exact same way, with him doing his version of stumbling to his feet or being lifted to his feet and holding his fist in the air, would you think it was fake then? Just winged his ear.
That's a great question, Johnny. That's a really great question.
Well,
you would think it was fake, right? I certainly.
There's one problem with that question. He would have probably bled out.
Okay. Thank you, WebMD senior. Okay, senior WebMD.
Does he have fleshy ears or something?
But that's interesting.
And I know it doesn't fit perfectly, but if something like this had happened to him,
to Joe Biden, and there is talk they're going to try to do their own version to get it back, right? To like, oh look, our guy got almost assassinated as well. But to me, it's just like, again, I guess I don't know, Johnny. That's a great question, because I go, well, Joe Biden's do more of the narrative that the deep state wants, but what is it that Trump doesn't do that they don't like? Like he's full blown deep throating Israel. He tax cuts for the super rich. Do
you buy that? What our guests are saying that about them being afraid of him locking them up? Because I just don't. I mean, he had plenty of chances to do that.
The first term, yeah, and it just never happened. And the problem, let's just go that Trump is this wild card, right? He's when putting together his administration, he's pulling from the swamp. They're all swamp people. Like you can't just go and just put people who've never done any of these jobs in positions that aren't compromised, right?
100%. Yeah, I mean, but I just think that he's something. He's what you said, a wild card, probably that is not what anybody says he is. You know what I mean? He's not what the people who hope he's going to lock everybody up and think he's some kind of leader of a reversal of tradition, with our government. But
I think that Trump saw the documents that basically state that Israel, Mossad, was a giant part of the assassination of JFK. And since then, he's like, gotta play ball, got to play ball.
That's the old
Right?
Hicks joke, right? I mean, you get elected, and then they bring you into that smoke-filled room and pull, start the projector, and then you see the Kennedy assassination from an angle you didn't know existed.
Yeah, exactly. So, in that aspect, I mean, like, dude, if you read this book, Final Judgment, you will see that, like, any president that has gone against even a little bit against Israel gets taken out, or at least attempted to.
Do you find it concerning that, because this is the times I've tweeted about this, people just keep spamming me with this link of him saying, yeah, I'll release the JFK files. I'll release the files on 9/11. And then they come to Epstein, the client list, and he's like, oh, yeah, but that could hurt some people, Is that?
Hey, dude, I mean, so it's what I find funny about Epstein is just like how many files need to be released. Like didn't everything get released? Everything's like, yeah, when's this gonna be released? And I'm like, oh, it already got released. And the
Do you see that guy at the RNC with the shirt saying "release the Epstein client list" behind it?
Behind it.
That's great. Yeah.
And it is weird. It is weird. This whole thing with the Republican National Convention. Listen, I'm not Republican. No matter how much people want to tell you that, I'm not a Republican. I don't forget Reagan, Bush, okay, Nixon.
I'm a registered Republican, by the way. I had to register Republican to vote for Ron Paul. That was the only way I could vote for Ron Paul. So I did it, but I haven't voted for one since.
Yeah, I'm not going to vote. I won't vote for any of these guys, but. Yeah,
hey, I got a question for you, Sam. What'd you think about Biden's response about him just saying, "Oh, I didn't mean a bullseye." You don't think he could have done a better? You think Trump would have responded better if Biden would have got shot?
Yeah. I mean, 100%. One guy's mashed potato brains, and the other one is a glorious shit talker.
But you think he would have calmed it down? You think Trump would have said, "Hey, that's too far. Like, hey, I know we're in a debate, but like shooting," because that's not what Biden did. He didn't tell the country to like, "Hey, calm it." He was just like, "I didn't mean bullseye."
Yeah.
Well, he goes, "I didn't say crosshairs.
Yeah.
I said bullseye." And I'm like, "Yeah, but there's a type of shooting called bullseye shooting that exists." So that both of those are the same. Yeah.
Yeah, he's an idiot. I mean, dude, I'm telling you, he's gonna be gone soon. You guys can call me
in
crazy
November.
man
I
Sam,
mean, or in next January, I think.
but he's a crazy person.
I could see. I tell you what, Sam. I could see this now. I could see them. I still think he goes to November, loses. I could see them giving Kamala his lame duck period there at the very end, just to get the first female president in there, black woman.
Exactly what I think.
But I'm saying after the election, though, like after the election, after he's lost. I could see that happening. I just don't see them running her. I don't know
Johnny,
what they get out of that.
not lying to you, the rhetoric on him stepping down just today or yesterday, he was like, if my doctor says I shouldn't run, I'll step down. And it's like it's so obvious. It's so obvious what's coming. It's so obvious. They're just
doesn't it feel too obvious, maybe?
I just think they're doing this theater for the people that they need to still believe in the Democrats. It's just theater. It's like he's trying.
Do you think? Here's a question: do you think it'll happen before, at, or after the convention, the Democratic convention?
I think it will happen right after the
That's
Republican.
August. Sorry, that's August 19th.
I think it's going to happen after the Republican convention.
No, I'm sorry. The Democratic convention is what I'm asking.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
I think it happens right after the Republican convention because they can't stop that momentum.
Okay.
But they can steal the headlines once that kind of dies down, and then they step in going, yeah, he's stepping down. Now that's all everybody's talking about. And then we have to hear Kamala Harris's fucking cackle forever for the next couple months.
Here's a headline that just came over from NBC, Sam, an hour ago. Headline: Democrats plan to formally nominate Biden in early August ahead of convention. Despite calls for more time to consider alternative nominees, Democrats are planning a virtual roll call vote weeks ahead of their national
I think it's all
convention.
theater, dude. I think that it's just like they are doing everything they can to keep the people who are dumb enough to vote for Joe Biden. Try to keep them around as long. That's just my opinion. Now, I could be wrong. I mean, I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. Okay. So, yeah. I mean, that's what I think is going to happen. I think they're gonna throw him to the side, and they're gonna just throw her in there because she's dead weight. So might as well throw her with an L2 so we don't have to deal with her again.
Yeah, that is. I mean, I that's a good narrative. I see that. I just can't see them. I don't know. I just feel like this shooting changed I just don't think they play politics after this moment. After if they really fucked this up, and they were trying to do this now, that's a whole other thing. They especially wouldn't be doing that because they just want this to all go away. But I don't know. It seems like they would. The thing that makes me doubt that it was fake is that it does seem like, at least at that level, they have some rules. You know what I mean? Like some chivalry, or you know what I mean? Like, hey, we don't kill each other. The other weird groups can do that stuff. You know, like the CIA, etc. But
they've done it before.
Well, no, but I'm talking about not the CIA. I'm talking about just the part. Now, if you're saying the Secret Service and the law enforcement was the impetus here, that's a whole other thing. But
I think that the CIA, Mossad, all those things, they're all complicit.
Why would Mossad want?
Because Ukraine is a big part of Israel's plans. That's my humble opinion. So I mean, like, I just put out a poll, man. Deep State Israel. Who do you guys think were behind it? And Deep State Israel was without doubt leading the charge on the voting.
Wait, you put them in one category though?
Yeah.
Deep State / okay.
Yeah. Because I at first I didn't, and then everyone's like, you're not including one. So I go, okay. And yeah, I mean, like, there's a lot going on there, dude. And so
Do you think we'll ever find out
who was behind it?
Yeah.
I mean,
never found out about JFK?
Very long time.
Yeah, very long
It
time.
would be it's going to be, I mean, it's going to be a while. The internet we're going to have so much speculation, but very little will come out until like most of the people are gone, I think, in terms of smoking guns and stuff like that. We'll see. But I think we will be able to convict somebody in our minds through circumstantial evidence. Right? That's my humble opinion.
Like a person, you think? Like another shooter,
No,
or just a group?
A group. I don't know if they're going to get to the individual. You know, do I think that guy is the guy that shot him? I don't know. We don't know the actual who did it, what did or what. I don't know. We see him laying down with the gun, but how long was he there for?
I will say
the weirdest thing, Johnny,
often
before you
miss.
say this, the weirdest thing is how little footage there is. If everybody has a cell phone, why don't we have wall-to-wall coverage?
You know, there's a really good clip that I shared on Instagram of a guy who is just locked out, like right on Trump's face from the perfect angle. And then right when he's about to point up, you know, at the illegal immigrant thing, and when the shots ring out, he's like, oh yeah, I stopped my camera here because I didn't want to block the people behind me. And then it comes right back after
so weird,
you know, after
right?
in the aftermath. Yeah, and this would be this would be perfect. The perfect angle. You would see the bullet. I mean, it's looking into Trump like this, right down. I mean, you know, from a distance, but right down his nose. You would see his ear flop, you know, if it got struck by a projectile.
Have you seen my posts about how this fits the Nicolas Cage movie?
Which one? Which Nicolas Cage movie? No, that was a yeah. No, I haven't. That wasn't a good movie. Yeah.
There's this whole thing about the woman behind him, right? Like raising her sign, then putting it down, then instantly getting her camera up. And you remember when there was that drunk guy yelling, "Ring the bell" or something on the Nicolas Cage movie, and that's when the shots fire, taking out the senator sitting ringside.
Yeah, I've never seen.
I haven't seen Snake Eyes, dude, in 25 years.
Dude, my Nicolas Cage joke is fire.
Let me show you. Let me show you this. So this is the footage I'm talking about. It's just. Have you seen this? It's so. It would be perfect, dude. Like he's right. Look where he is.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Look at this shot right here.
Dude, it's so crazy. What?
Mm-hmm.
What? No, dude, that is so
I stopped
unauthentic.
recording here. I did not want to block the view of others behind me. In 7 to 8 seconds, he gets shot in the ear. I mean, what? Are you serious? And then he comes back here. Now, this is where I was talking about. You can see a really clear view. See, these people are all like waving like this is the person that got shot in the head.
Yeah, that's the guy that was dead, though, right?
Yeah, he got shot in the head. Yeah.
Which
but he wasn't the shooter. I thought
No,
we all
no,
thought he
no.
was the shooter.
No, but people are
this
saying
guy
he
got
wasn't.
shot, and then there's a guy on the other end that got shot.
Yeah, that doesn't. You see, people are saying that looks like another shooter, but that could easily be, a fragment of a bullet or a ricochet.
Look, he's saying he got shot in the head. Look at that.
Yeah,
Look at that guy down there. He's shot in the head.
So was it okay? That guy getting shot. Well, obviously, you guys think it was a ricochet. Obviously,
no. That wouldn't have to be a ricochet. I mean, that would be because he's right in the line of fire there. I mean, if he goes a little low or.
Yeah, but there's another guy that gets shot, unless it's this dude right here from a different angle. You know.
But I mean, dude, those like the
tits. Look at those all-American tits.
5.56, the caliber that was used. I mean, it's a small projectile. It's high power. There's a lot of powder in the cartridge, and those things, dude, they can do all kinds of crazy shit. Just fly around, like magic bullet style. I mean, really. I mean, I've seen them, just shooting at the range. Especially if you're shooting on. Which look, there's a military guy there already. Wow. If you're shooting on, must be a medic. If you're shooting on metal targets, which I don't. I don't love doing. It's not the safest thing. Those things can fly all around, flatten, twist, and warp. Yeah, look at the police just going in there, huh?
I mean, I got to give it up to those people not getting away. I think the shooting would be still going on. Maybe there's a third shooter, fourth shooter.
They're giving him. Look at that.
That's that guy they interviewed after. Who he's an ER physician, and he gave him chest compressions and mouth to mouth. This guy had brain matter on his t-shirt.
Now, is this the guy? Is this the firefighter he's doing it to that passed? Or is this another guy?
It must be that guy, right? Because the other person's still alive, right? And this guy, I mean, he got shot in the head, so I can't.
Hold on, Johnny. I'm gonna send you something I want you to look at real quick.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find it. Okay, here. Is this it? Here we go. Hold on. What is John Cullen? Stop it with this craziness. Hold on. Here we go. I'm going to send this to you real quick. Real quick.
You guys seen the video? You've seen the video of the shooter getting bullied, right? All over X and stuff.
Yeah, bragging about his 10-inch dick. Come on, dude. Hold on, Johnny. I just sent it to you. Can you?
Okay. By the way, Elon has just fully stepped out of the closet, hasn't he? As a Trump supporter, it's really funny to me that it took this, but he's
leaving California. He said,
"Yeah, this is that shot right here." Hold on, let me bring this in. All right, this is interesting for sure.
So do you guys think this is the same guy?
No, this is the other end of that same.
Okay, so watch this, and I don't know why he stops it right here, but watch this.
The entire theory revolves around a man in a white shirt in the southern bleacher being shot. Videos from after the shooting show he was not shot, and he takes out his phone to film Trump being escorted out of the area. So keep that in mind, the white shirt guy.
Take a look what happened. See something that said, take a look what happened. What happened. Take a look what happened.
I think they're trying to say that's a puff of smoke from a gunshot, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like maybe a ricochet to me. And then they're talking about this guy over here falling, which according to this note, he gets back up later.
If you want to really see something that said, take a look what happened.
What you know about?
That guy gets down faster than anybody, though. Congratulations on having the fastest reflexes if he wasn't shot.
Rolling down when your brain goes numb, you can call a mental freeze when these people talk.
I don't know why they put that music on shit like this.
Yeah, what was that? Super interesting. Super.
Yeah, if you're listening at home,
interesting.
what we're seeing here is that okay, so the shooter, his line of sight is well, there does
Makes
seem
no
to be some
sense.
alignment though, right? Because you could see if he missed or there were ricochets, that those bullets could end up in either of those places. So that doesn't, I don't know, that doesn't surprise me too much to see them there. Let's see what the most shocking thing is how damn close is. I mean, we can just go back and talk about that. How fucking close this guy was. I mean, it's just baffling. I know you said it was kind of a hard shot, but everybody I've seen, especially the ex-military, are like, this is like basic training. Like anybody who's
Well, they said he wasn't a good shot. He got kicked
well,
out.
I mean, he didn't kill Trump, so
Well,
okay.
it's so funny because they're like he got kicked out of his he got kicked out of his shooting class because he couldn't shoot. I'm like, that to me sounds so dumb. Like, what teachers like? Imagine someone kicking you out of English because you can't read. Like,
or
they're
no,
like,
no, it's
they
even
work
worse than
with
that
you.
because they're profiting from you being there. It's like you being kicked out of like a cake making class or something, because you can't make a cake. Doesn't make any. They're taking your money. They would want to keep you there. That doesn't make any sense. You're right. The thing I will say too though is like, have you seen that 4chan is calling him retardy Oswald?
Retarded Oswald.
Yeah, retardy Oswald. But if there were other shooters, professionals, Trump would be dead. I really believe that.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
If
I
they
don't think it'd
wanted
be
to.
other professionals. I think it'd be another idiot like him, another guy on. Because I mean, I don't know. I mean, not that I would ever, but doing that alone just seems crazy. Just hey, just be by myself, solo.
Well, the lone
dolo.
gunman thing though is, I mean, that's a a trope for a reason. It's a thing that happens. But
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen, they like to have redundancy. Government plots like this have like to have backups. We saw it with Kennedy. I mean, that was a kill box.
Yeah, well, he was supposed to be killed in Chicago the week before, but for some reason they canceled that, and then he gets killed in Dallas.
No, that got me thinking that if it would have been the CIA, they would have succeeded. This really was like a lone.
I don't agree with that at all.
No, that's what I mean. I just said that. So yeah, I do.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah,
you think it's a lone gunman? You don't think?
Oh no. What I said was though, if this was a government plot, I think Trump would be dead because with redundancies like they like to have, like with Kennedy, they ain't gonna miss you, dude. I mean, Kennedy got shot from 3 different angles. You know what I mean?
So now you think? So your
well, no,
thought
but
is
think of that. I mean, think of that.
Yeah, but Johnny,
I think
here's the only thing. Okay,
Maybe they missed on purpose or some kind of.
Yeah, but Johnny,
that's it.
There's things that are going on that at the minimum the government is complicit in, which is allowing him to sit there.
Oh, that's whole different. That's of course. No. Yeah, I'm
but
not
the
saying
notion
no.
this
I'm not
guy
saying he's
acted
not.
alone is there's no way.
I don't think
way.
Well, no, that's a whole different. I'm just saying there could be, if there were other shooters, is what I'm saying, in the field. But if this was like a CIA op, like where they were taking the shots, he'd be dead. But no, totally. I mean, that's what I think happens with a lot of these things. It's just they water a lot of seeds, a lot of crazy seeds in the world, and then the ones that sprout, they kind of open the path for them to to do what they're going to do. And I totally think that happened. The ladder. I mean, this guy carried. Do you see this report that they're saying he carried that fucking ladder a mile from Home Depot? That big ass ladder under his arm.
Yeah, I don't believe that either.
What an idiot! He could have got a Mexican to do that. He could have got a Mexican to carry the ladder all the way over there.
I don't believe that at all. I don't believe that at all. I don't believe that story at all. Maybe they're going to show us a video, and then I'll be like, okay, I was wrong on that. Again, how do you get on the roof where the anti-sniper team is drinking coffee in?
I mean, he did use a ladder. I mean, you saw the picture of the ladder.
No, I'm not getting it, but I mean, when I see that he carried, I don't know, man. I think there's just, this story doesn't make any sense to me. And again, I'll say this. This is the most misinformation story I've ever seen in my life.
Ever.
It's never been this bad because they now know they can't control it. Their mechanisms of censorship can't move quick enough. So instead of controlling it, they're flooding it. That's what I think's happening.
What do you think of this dipshit Destiny? I mean, he's just, boy, it really is what you said, that he's like the punching bag of left-wing politics.
I mean, like, he's getting murked, dude, and he's just going to destroy his own brand. And I think, like, celebrating somebody dying, calling him a
firefighter.
It's just like, it's so dumb.
Fuck you to them. It was crazy.
And again, going back to George Floyd, I think the right was like, he died of an overdose. He didn't die of a strangulation or a knee on his neck, like everybody's trying to say.
In their defense, they bring up the Nancy Pelosi's husband, like, oh, you guys were mean to him. You guys didn't say that was horrible.
Well,
I'm like, that's a death.
That we think it was just gay sex. I mean, that's the plot of every single first 48. Now, listen, let me say this, dude. Again, I am anti-cancel culture. I think what Kyle, what's his name? Gass? Is it Kyle Gass? Gass said, I don't agree with. But I also think it's absolutely ridiculous that he got dropped by his agency that quickly. I'm sorry.
What about Jack Black? Jack Black dropped it. I mean, is that talking about, like, I don't think we're going to continue creatively in the future. Like, what the fuck, dude?
After you laughed and enjoyed it.
Crazy.
You didn't denounce it right there. And, you know, I just think it's I don't know, man. I think at the end of the day, both sides are full of whiny bitches that have zero problems with being fucking hypocritical. And now this fucking chick at fucking Home Depot is going to struggle to pay her bills because who's going to hire her now? Starbucks, maybe. I don't know. It
does disappoint me to see so many of our people doing the same thing. Yeah, it does. It disappoints me. Like, cause it reminds me of, you know, in like fraternities where they have hazing and they do it because it happened to them. This feels like the same. It's like revenge almost for the past 5 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And I hate it. I hate it.
And then I have friends that have, like, I mean, actual, like, careers. And I understand why you don't talk. I understand why you don't want to talk your politics. But when you work at McDonald's or Home Depot and you can't even say what you want, you can't have a minimum wage job. I think that's kind of crazy too. I think these people should be able to say what the fuck they want.
I mean, it is stupid for them to be. They're stupid too for saying that shit.
Oh, I
they
agree.
Don't deserve
No,
to be
I'm not
destroyed.
defending. I'm not 100%ing what they said. I just think it's dumb that McDonald's or Burger King can tell you what you should say when they feed you trash.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah, that's a good point.
And listen, if Home Depot wants to fire them for saying it, you can't really control that.
No.
But the calls and this lib of TikTok fucking chick who's so obviously fucking part of the deep, in my humble opinion, part of the deep state, because she's just showing us things that we would never see before. It's like a real problem with the internet, right? It's like now somebody gets stabbed in Cincinnati, somebody on the internet shows us, now we think we're all about to get stabbed, right? So I mean, I have gone to my kids' school. I don't see any blue-haired crazy women teaching at my kids' schools, but that is the honest belief of what teachers are. And it's a lot of that is from libs and TikTok, whose family is like deep into the legacy media. She isn't just some chick out of nowhere.
Oh, really? I don't know anything about that. Tell me.
Yeah,
tell me.
Adam Green did a whole thing on her. And she's not just like some rando coming up with stuff.
No shit.
It was from the start she's been pushed, you know? And she's showing us people that have like 100 followers on the internet and making
some of whom are clearly mentally just gone, shish kebabbed, as you would say. I mean, dipshits. So, I mean,
yeah, that's my whole thing. So,
I mean, and honestly, Sam, if you would have told me how many blue-haired people work at the school your kids go to, just assuming it's LA, I would have said at least 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see any of them there.
And I believe you. Yeah, but in my head, I'm just assuming there's got to be 2 at every fucking school in LA.
Oh, no, in every class, the way libs of TikTok makes you think. Every class. There's always going to be retards out there, dude. You're never going to stop that. But when you highlight somebody who is just a nobody, now, full disclosure, if there's a teacher out there, okay, that is like, I'm teaching kindergartners to be queer, okay, we might want to hear about that, right? For that school, or at least the warning to parents at that school. But when you highlight somebody who said something stupid on the internet, and for the purpose of getting them fired, like, to me, that's just crazy. Am I wrong?
No, yeah.
No, I agree. I mean, I do. One,
And there's a difference between a teacher teaching kids to fucking be trans and some cashier at Home Depot, mad that they didn't meet, even though I don't agree, mad that the shooter missed, even though I don't agree with that. It's like two totally different things.
Well, yeah, one's a government job for a start. I mean, in most cases, if you're talking about public schools. But I don't know, dude. I mean, what? It is it's divisive. It is entertaining. No, I mean, it is, most of that shit is hilarious, infuriating, but very funny. And I mean, I'm sure she's making a killing, right? She must be just printing money from that, right?
I mean, in her defense, they're the ones who posted the video as it is. I'm just reposting it. I'm just letting you watch these idiots.
I understand that. But
you getting sensitive because of your role on the Instagram XG? Is that what this is?
Sometimes.
No,
Like, I just
I'm with you on
reposted it.
that. But what she's doing is she's taking this account that has, let's say, 1 million followers. I don't know how many people follow Libs of TikTok that has 1 million followers, and she's taking somebody who has 100 followers and putting on something that has 1 million followers, which gives the
3.2 million followers.
3.2 million. It gives the illusion that the 100 followers has a 3.2 million followers feel. That's all I'm saying. It's just like she's adding to the going at each other while fully being okay with Israel killing Palestinian children. Like, oh, don't cut the dicks off of kids over here, but bomb the fuck out of kids over there. That's I'm against both of them.
Yeah.
Picking and choosing where you care about kids. It's actually stupid. Guys, if you go to SamTripoli.com real quick, go to SamTripoli.com. This week, I am in Kansas City, Missouri, all this week. 18th through the 20th. And then again, the Comedy Store, Comedy Chaos on the 23rd. Go check that out. Grab that show while you can. Who knows how much longer it's going to go. Guys, I really want to say this, and I says at the beginning, I'll say it again. I really need you to come to SamTripoli.com if you want premium content. I'm trying to put up 3 things a week. Right now, I'm doing a couple different shows. I'm doing Deep Conspiracy Rewinds. I'm doing AMAs.
What? A Bible read?
Now,
okay.
I've just added that me, Giovanni, and our friend Logan, both 10th Planet Black Belts, just got their black belt. We're listening to Johnny Cash read the Bible, and we're discussing it. So that is available exclusively on SamTripoli.com, and what I call Deep, Dangerous, the things we can't talk about on a lot of these platforms. Okay, so if you're on Rockfin, it is what it is. I would suggest that you come to SamTripoli.com if you're there for Sam Tripoli, putting up stuff all the time, grabbing T-shirts. Oh, Chaos Twins again, that is coming. Second episode, we're getting that done. Very excited about that. Cash Daddies, Johnny, talk about Cash Daddies Patreon. Fire or fire?
Well, both fires. 2 fires. Yeah, he's been killing it. It's almost like he has advanced knowledge of current events. It's incredible. It's not to the level of
if it's helping you guys make money.
Yeah.
T-shirts are on fire, cameos on fire, new T-shirts all the time. The T-van. Listen, that was listed as a limited edition. I've made it not a limited edition. I'm sorry, guys. That's the first time I've ever done that. I love the T. I love that shirt. I want people to be able to get it. Again, I'm on the road. You got to ask me for the pronouns for the pronoun shirt. Okay, that's the only way we do it.
Explain it again. Explain it again. You have to ask him about his pronoun joke on stage, right?
Yeah, ask me on stage, and then you gotta come up to me and ask me, what are your pronouns again when I'm buying t-shirts? That's the only way I sell that shirt. Buy gold and silver, our good friends, Wise Wolf Gold and Silver. Go to samtripoli.gov, use the pronouns, use the promo code tinfoil, get in the wolf pack, buy your gold now. Chaos is coming. Get your gold, get your silver. Our good friends at Harley Ray, all the candles and crystals you need. Energy. I love Chemical Free Body. This is what I've been eating today when I was eating it. That's their Green 85. All their dude, as you know, I love their energy supplements. I'm doing Alpha Energy is my favorite. Get in on it, grab it. I love it. It gives me energy. I nothing but rock and roll. Then of course, EMF Rocks. I'm trying to get the right link on that. That will be there for your everything you need to block the EMF rays, or we call it dirty electricity. And then Joel Staley as well. And I'm proud to announce we're about to get an affiliate program up on the website for the microdosing. Guys, nice. I have microdosing packets for you. I just haven't seen you guys, so I got to bring it to you guys. So that's it. And then go to SamTripoli.com for everything else. All Sam Tripoli audio, videos, everything Sam Tripoli. Go there. Anything else, guys?
Hit that like button, subscribe, and go check out my blog at Extreme Marks the Spot on YouTube. Thank you.
And all right, Johnny, everybody. Yeah. See you guys later. At Johnny Woodard on Twitter. Come hang out. Thank you.
Go enjoy these highlights.
Here's a clip from the latest Broken Sim. So Chris Cuomo has gone even more stupid.
I think there are a lot of people who are partially right, partially wrong. Okay. Were the mandates on the vaccines necessary? No, not to the extent and the degree they were done. I also didn't put them into place. And I also don't apologize for saying, hey, look, you don't want to take it, fine, but you can't be expecting that you're going to get access to the same things in society when you know what the rules are. Now, that's
crazy.
A separate issue from whether...
What is he talking about?
What he's trying to do is be like, yeah, I was wrong, but I don't care.
That's exactly what he's trying to get off the hook.
Yeah, he's trying so hard. He's on
steroids.
To try to get back in to society's good graces.
No, Chris,
you're done. You sold your soul and the country who trusted you at the time for cash and power. And you're gone. Your brother's gone. You destroyed your father's legacy and you're done. And I'm sorry, dude. Go enjoy your life. Stop begging us to accept you back because you lied to us. You told us straight into the camera and said it was illegal to read the WikiLeaks shit. And it's not.
Scumbag.
You were a bootlicker, a brown shirt. Okay.
Listen, he gets honest here, though. I respect him for this part that's coming up here.
Those were the right rules. I don't make the rules. I was just saying, if you really think you're going to not get vaccinated but be able to go to work, you're making a stupid decision. If you think your kids are going to be able to go to school, you're making a stupid decision.
Yeah, but dumbass. The rule is dumb. Okay? It's like that famous meme that is basically like, just because something's illegal doesn't mean it's wrong. And just because something is legal doesn't mean it's right. Okay? Kids should not have to be vaccinated to go to school. That should be a parent's decision. Okay? And if your kid is vaccinated, you shouldn't be scared of anything.
My body, my choice, except for the vaccine and your children.
By saying vaccine mandates, you are saying you don't believe in vaccines. Okay? Because if you believed in vaccines, you wouldn't give a fuck what anybody else has.
Because you're protected, Of course.
This guy is tanning. He's stupid.
He's on roids, clearly.
You're roided out.
His neck is so thick.
It looks like I bet his time at
you think it's winding
Value
down?
Tape is coming to an end.
Just get to where he starts.
It's a different discussion. Okay. And the idea that I was bought off by Big Pharma, please, I wish. I'd be happy to do business with Big Pharma. I think they do tremendous.
Dude, stop.
and
You
good.
just lost everything.
There it is.
You
Yeah.
just lost it all right there.
That's it.
You literally just told us you would sell out. You're telling us you didn't sell out, and you said you would sell out,
No.
but we all think you sold out, but you said you would sell out. Get out of here, dude.
That's
you
it.
don't even know what you're saying. Your ego is so bad. Let it die, you dumbass.
Look at his face, man. He's just all swollen and puffy.
Dude,
He's living hard.
I don't know how these people interview them. I really don't. I really don't.
I would love to get you in a room with that guy.
No, I'm not
record it.
I'm not like Rogan. I'm not like these guys.
That's why I'd love to get you in a room
I
with him.
can't. I can't sit with these dudes.
We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Tinfoil hat.